What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm gonna be showing y'all how to create one of the most overpowered point guard or shooting guard builds in NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now, this is gonna be the 3&D 2 guard, and I'm telling y'all, with this build, there's so much potential. Now, I did recreate it to get a slashing takeover, shot creating, sharpshooting, and lockdown. We're also going to be able to get at least 82 badges off rip. But one of the best things about this build is that we're going to get all of the pro dribble moves as well as the pro contact dunks. Now, as for the attributes, I'm telling y'all, these are going to be the ones in which we're able to get a 100 plus. Now, that's going to be the driving dunk as well as the layup, 3-point shot, ball handle, perimeter defense, steal, block, and both are offensive and defensive rebound. Now look, I just want to say thank you to everybody showing your support by coming through. And if it's your first time, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. But more so than anything, do not forget to comment down TG for thank God, as well as where you're watching from today. And I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with a response. So as y'all already seen from the gameplay, we're literally able to do everything and more out of this build. Now, as you can see, we already have this build created, and the main thing that I want to be sure for everybody to do going forward is be sure that you create this build out of the shooting guard position. Now, we can make it exactly the same way out of the point guard, but I'm telling you the best way to make it for this build name will be out of the 2 position. Now, when it comes down to the actual body settings, these are going to play a huge factor with this build, so I'm going to go with the height of 6'9". As for the weight, I'm going to go with 185, and then for the wingspan, this is really optional, but today I'm going to go ahead and put this to 6'10". Now, regardless of our wingspan, I promise you, this is one of the best defensive builds that you can possibly make. Now, to take up the most space on the interior defense, I'm going to go with the body shape of builds, and now from here, we're going to be all set to go to get into the creation of this build. So let's go ahead and get started together. When it comes down to our speed, I'm going to go with an 81. As for the acceleration, you can go with an 81 here as well, but I'm going to go with an 80. Now for the strength, for now, I'm going to skip over. As for the vertical, make sure you put this to a 75, and then when it comes down to the stamina, I'm going to go ahead and put this to an 88. Now later down the road, the strength will be adjustable to your own liking and preference, but this is how I did decide to go about recreating this build. Now let's go ahead and get started with the defensive end. So for that interior defense, I'm going to go with the 62. As for the perimeter, I'm going to go with an 87. 78 when it comes down to our steal. 81 for the block, and then when it comes down to the offensive and defensive rebound. For the offensive, I'm going to go with the 76 and then a 77 for my defensive. Now right here, we get a total of about 22 badges. You can get more if you wanted to make the adjustments, but remember, every single area of this build is definitely crucial, not only to maintain the build name, but all of the attributes and animations that I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video. Now, as for the badges, I'm telling y'all, I like Box Out Beast with Glove and Post Lockdown. Clamps and Challenger with Chase on Artist and Interceptor out of Tier 2 is pretty overpowered, but I'm really focused on Tier 3 with Anchor and Rebound Chaser. Now, when it comes down to the playmaking, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of a 75. As for the ball handle, go with an 85, and then when it comes down to our speed with the ball, I'm going to go with the 75 again for another 19 badges. Now, I like Ankle Breaker and Hall of Fame. I'm also going to look at Hyperdrive. Now, for Tier 2, Gold Quick First Step as well as Killer Combos out of Tier 3. And I'm really happy that we do get Silver Handles for days. Now, this all comes down to your own preference and how you want to go about the playmaking. But I think this really is going to match up evenly when you look at the defensive end. Now, getting into the shooting, I'm going to go with the 79 when it comes down to the mid-range shot. As for the 3-pointer, this is pretty surprising, but I did decide to go with the 92, and that right there will give us limitless range on gold. Now for the free throw, go with the 72. We get a total of 24 shooting badges. I like Amped and Mini Magician, Space Creator with Volume Shooter, Green Machine, and Agent 3. Now if you want to, I really believe that out of all of the tier 3 badges, Limitless Range is going to be the most important. Deadeye is alright, same thing with Blinders and Catch and Shoot, but none of them are going to compare to the importance of Limitless Range. Now the only area left over to get into will be the finishing. So for the driving dunk, I'm going to go with an 87. As for the driving layup, go with an 80. And that right there is going to give us a total of 13 badges. Now I like Giant Slayer, Back Down Punisher, Pro Touch, and Slithery. For tier 2, Gold Limitless Takeoff with Silver Fearless Finisher. But I did create this build to where if you throw your 4 extra badges into this area, from my career, we're going to be able to also equip Silver Posterizer. Now in total, throw in the 4 extra badges that we get from my career, and we have the potential to start out with at least 82 badges for this build. Now just something to throw out there to y'all, but if you wanted to make adjustments to go lower on the defensive rebound, you definitely can do so to get better attributes in other areas. Really comes down to how you want to go about this, but I'm telling y'all, I don't think there's a better way that you can recreate this build. Now you can go with an 81 acceleration, 82 speed. Go ahead and throw the rest of the attributes into your free throw, and we should be able to still maintain the same build name. Now look, we get the slashing takeover, the shot creating, sharpshooting, and then the lockdown. So for my best interest on this build, if you want the most out of the finishing, as well as be able to get a plus 10 towards that area, the first takeover that I'm going to pick from is going to be finishing moves. Now the second one, I would consider ankle breaking shots or limitless range takeover. Now honestly, the defense is already pretty overpowered, so if you wanted to go ahead and pick any of the lockdown takeovers, I can definitely see you going that route. But if you want to be better on the offensive end, you should go ahead and pick ankle breaking shots takeover just to get better ankle breaking animations. Now remember, this is all based out of my own playstyle, so feel free to go about this however you'd like. But let's go ahead and check out the build to make sure we made it correctly. We should be getting these 3 comparisons, and as y'all can see, we have created the 3 and D 2-guard build in NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now because of the build name and the fact that we do get slashing, takeover with the contact dunks, you can even consider this to be a catfish build. Now remember, if you do buy your own boost, that's going to be a plus 5 put towards all 4 areas. Running with teammates that have on Hall of Fame floor general, that's going to be another plus 4. Now look, the better you play, your stats also will gradually raise. And then the plus 10 from your 2 separate takeovers, that's at least a plus 20 towards 2 separate areas for this build, just to give y'all an idea of what we're able to do. But from here, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the badge layout. Now when it comes down to the finishing, I'm going to go with Gold Giant Slayer, Core Gold Limitless Takeoff, Silver Fearless Finisher, Silver Slithery, and Hall of Fame Pro Touch. Now, remember, like I said, if you throw your extra badges towards this area, we're going to be able to get Posterizer unlocked on top of Contact Dunks. So just something to give y'all an idea about. Now with the shooting, I'm going to go with Hall of Fame Amp, Space Creator, Volume Shooter, Green Machine with Gold Core Limitless Range, Gold Agent 3, and Bronze Mini Magician. Now remember, you necessarily do not need to equip the same exact badges that I'm throwing on. So if you wanted to go about this differently, for example, throw on Deadeye instead of any of these other badges, you definitely can do so. But in my opinion, I think this is going to be the best way that you can go about the setup for the shooting. Now here's going to be a few different jump shots that we're actually able to pick and recreate from, just to give y'all an idea of what this build can do. But for the playmaking, I'm going to go with Silver Handles for Days, Cord Silver Killer Combos, Gold Quick for Step, Hyperdrive, Hall of Fame Ankle Breaker with Bronze Break Starter. Now with the playmaking, I'm telling y'all, this is another area you can earn and throw extra badges towards. And I think for tier 3 that would definitely be useful, but we still have all of the main important badges in order to be able to still dribble and ISO. Now with the defense, I'm going to go with the Box Out Beast on Silver, Clamps and Interceptor. Now for Bronze, I'm going to go with Anchor on Core, Post Lockdown with Glove, as well as Gold Challenger and Chase Down Artist. Now for the defensive end, I don't see any weakness. Now if you wanted to go ahead and put on Rebound Chaser over Challenger, that's another way that you can go about this setup, or even Workhorse on Hall of Fame. Ankle Braces is another solid badge that I would look at. Now this all comes down to how you want to go about this, But let me know in the comments, what do y'all think about this build? Did you make any changes or adjustments, and did you recreate it exactly how I brought it to y'all? But I just want to say thank you so much for your support. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. But more so than anything, do not forget to comment down TG for thank God, as well as where you're tuning in from watching today. And I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with a response. But with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.